Well, hello and welcome to my statutory. My name's Jane Lindsay and I'm a textile artist living in the middle of Scotland. On my channel, I talk about creativity and I talk about nature and I talk about a slightly different way of living in the world. And if this is your first time here, a really big welcome. Grab yourself something to drink and let's chat. So today it is a glorious, glorious day. It is, I think, hang on, I'm just going to lift my smallest dog up here. You coming? Coming? There we go. And I won't be scratched quite so much. Yes, it's a beautiful day. I think these two are expecting that I'm going to take them out for a walk. And it is, I think, probably my favourite time of the year. It is still bright. It's a beautiful sunny day, but there is that chill in the air. It's quite damp underfoot, and there's a wonderful scent of, I think, all the plants beginning to decay back into the world, back into the ground. Right, can I pop you down? No. So I thought I would talk about the garden here and also the landscape around it because it's so beautiful. As I say, I live in the middle of Scotland and I live right at the edge of the Loch Lomond and Trossachs National Park. And in fact, the single track road that goes at the edge of our garden is the boundary of the park. And the reason for this is that in the Ice Age, when all of this landscape was under ice, what became Loch Lomond, this was as far as it got. And it's left us with this beautiful undulating, ice-carved kind of landscape that is very peaceful and very enveloping, and it feels really sheltering. And that's one of the reasons that we moved here. I just love the landscape. And around us we are surrounded by farms, mainly cattle and sheep. But our immediate neighbours have left their land to kind of rewild. So we live in what is a wildlife corridor from one river down a burn that runs at the bottom of our garden right the way along. So it means that wildlife really flourishes here. And we have deer, we have badger, we have otter, there's buzzards, hare. It is just glorious. And sometimes I think maybe I should just leave all of it and revel in the landscape. But then the drive to actually get my hands in the soil and create a garden rears up. And that is what I'm going to show you around today. Now, if you've looked at some of my other videos, you might remember that I asked a few videos ago when I was sort of like doing maybe a July tour, what should I be calling this garden? Because now it has got lots of dye plants in it, it's got lots of plants that I'm growing for pressed flowers and for eco-printing and so on. I was thinking, you know, it does deserve a name. And I got lots of really good suggestions. But when I was walking around it, I thought, you know, actually it doesn't really need a fancy name. It doesn't need an arty name. It is, at heart, a cottage garden because I grow food there. I grow flowers there, dye plants, apothecary plants, exactly the same way as cottage gardens would have been over the past millennium. You know, it's not a new kind of garden. It's not a particularly arty kind of garden. It's just a garden for living, where you are in the plants and alongside the plants and trying to create something where nature flourishes, to keep a really light hand but still to have a productive garden. So this is the cottage garden, and I'm just going to put up some footage and some music, and then I will come back at the end and say goodbye. Here we are. I hope you enjoy the tour.
Love me, love me, love me, love me, love me, love me. Speck of dust on your coffee cup. I can't see the light. I can't see the light. Breathe to be, they try to fend for me. Escape the night, escape the night. And I wonder as the world goes down, when answers to the call will go right through. And every time you say goodbye, I think to myself, could this be it for me and you? So why should I be bothered? I'll try to keep my promise, but you make it too easy to love me, love me. Try to see who you're meant to be. Are you afraid of light? Are you afraid of light? Speak easy and depend on me. Relieve their minds, oh relieve their minds. And I wonder as the world goes down, when answers to the call will go right through. And every time you say goodbye, I think to myself, could this be it for me and you? So why should I be bothered? I'll try to keep a promise, but you make it too easy to love me, love me. So why
So I hope that you enjoyed the tour and that you can see why this is one of my favourite times of year. And back when I used to cut flowers and do events and send flowers out all over the country, this weather would have meant the end of my season, because now we are down to about 6 degrees overnight and it's very, very wet in the mornings. Even if it's not raining, it's just really damp, and the plants, they don't get a chance to flower properly, and all of the petals tend to get very damaged and so on. So this would have always been the end of my season. And in some ways, if you're a flower farmer or an event florist or all of these jobs, it's a little bit of a relief. At least you haven't got anything booked in. It's just like, this is the end of the season and now it's time to plan for next year, and it sort of coincides with all of that back to school feeling. Though actually Scottish schools go back mid-August, so we're out of sync with that anyway. But actually this year, this weather and this feeling and the way that the plants are going is a couple of weeks earlier than it is normally. Which is nice for me because I am about to go off on holiday and I might have missed it, this wonderful few days of crispness where the garden is just glorious but teetering on the brink of collapse. So that's another way of saying that this will be my last Friday film for a couple of weeks. I'm taking 2 weeks off. I will be just swimming in the sea and relaxing and reading and knitting and embroidering. And if you are a Studio Club member or a part of my Bloom mentorship, then you still get to hear from me. I'm not going to cut off completely, but Instagram, Friday letters and YouTube are all on a little holiday as well. So I shall see you in 3 weeks time. I'm taking 2 weeks off, so I will see you in 3 weeks time. I hope you have a fantastic time, and until then, bye bye.